it's a Friday morning, so people are working, they're doing their thing. Good morning, everybody. Hope all of you are having a great Friday. Hey, I want to discuss some things. As a lot of you who have been following me have noticed, and people that live in the 22nd district, your mailboxes have been crammed full of mailers. A lot of these are attack mailers, smears on me. Now they're sending out Survey Monkey polls where you go through, and then if you're checking the box for Mike Detmer, it says you've been selected for further questions, and they start going through all this stuff. Folks, one of the things that they're hitting me with, and by the way, these attack pieces are coming from a couple PACs that were founded by DeVos. All right, and so Betsy DeVos has come out. She's a never Trumper. It was a terrible pick by President Trump to appoint her to his cabinet. But either way, in fact, DeVos even came out before she left the administration and asked Mike Pence about the 25th Amendment, or the Article 25, to get rid of Trump. So that's what you have. And my opponent is backed by the DeVos clan. I discussed this when I ran for Congress. In 2016, I filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Shit happened. And so we had to protect our house and protect everything else. In 2021, I dismissed the case because we wanted to pay off a bunch of debt. My attorney said to me, if you're going to do this, it's much quicker and easier to pull out of the program, pay off the debt, and then re-enter to finish it. So when I did that in 2021, I paid off about $40,000 worth of debt, pulled my house out of the Chapter 13, and then we re-entered to finish the program. Totally legal, and that's what my attorney advised that we do. So we back in 2016, we got into a mess. I mean, it was an absolute mess. It was a job loss. My wife wasn't working. I wasn't working, and we had a real problem. And so we had to do it. And there was the only way to save our house and to keep everything was to do that. I didn't do Chapter 7. I did Chapter 13 because I wanted to make everybody whole, all my creditors whole. So that happened. And they're using that now to slam me and say, oh, Mike's this terrible guy because he filed for bankruptcy. It wasn't twice. It was part of the same program. But they don't look at that. One of the things they're also putting out there is that I had a business that went defunct. No, I never did. The mortgage business that they're referring to, that was owned and operated by my father, who, guess what? Guess what his name was? Michael J. Detmer, not Michael A. Detmer. That's me. The business didn't go defunct. He died. It was an S corporation, and he was a broker. And I worked for him for quite a few years. But when he died, the business died with him because all of the agreements that we had with our lenders were signed with him. So it was kind of like a sole proprietorship, but it was an S corporation. So they're going after my dad. They're not even, these attack dogs aren't even paying attention to who it is that they're attacking. So now they're attacking a dead man. And I think that's pretty low. That's about as low as you can get. Some of these mailers are saying that I'm associated with hate groups. I'm not associated with any hate groups. And they're referring to the John King and Detroit News articles that came out back during Operation Gridlock, where I was photobombed by a Proud Boy. And so they keep bringing this up. Everything that they're doing, by the way, folks, the Democrats used in 2020 when I ran for Congress. It's the same smear tactics, and they're spending huge money to do it. Folks, you've also got to realize that while I've been out in public and campaigning, my opponent has not. She will not hold coffee hours. She will not hold town halls. She has turned down every request to do a candidate forum. She just won't do it. She's doing the old Biden trick, living in her basement and hoping that all of you fall for all this attacks. They're trying to demonize me. And by the way, I've said this publicly. I have no issue with Lana Theis personally. It's all about job performance. It's about the issues. It's about dismissing the people's concerns about the 2020 election and dismissing election fraud. It's about asking Dana Nessel to investigate Republicans who raise concerns about the 2020 election. You just don't do that. I'm running against her because of the auto insurance reform. We went from the most expensive in the country to the most expensive to the second most expensive in the country. Meanwhile, you've got patients who were supposed to have been grandfathered in with their care, their services, and they're losing their care and their services. Senator Theis told me before that law passed, because she's chair of the Insurance and Banking Committee, that if there were any problems that arose from that law, she would be the first one to tackle them. Well, she's got at least 7 bills on her desk in her committee that would fix some of these problems for these patients, and she refuses to do anything with them. She's totally pigeonholed those bills. Now she's running ads how she's a champion for the schools and for parents. She's putting ads on, it's not her, it's these same PACs that were smearing me, talking about how she's fighting for parental rights. You need to be aware that Moms for Liberty asked Lana to stand with them at some of these school board meetings where they're implementing SEL and DEI and CRT. Moms for Liberty will tell you that Lana said to them, no, I wouldn't be effective in that capacity. Lana happens to be the chair of the Education Committee in the state Senate. How could you not be effective? But then right after she denied Moms for Liberty, she went and had a closed-door meeting in Pinckney with the school board and superintendent with, guess who? Her good friend Dana Nessel. They never talked about what was discussed in that school board meeting behind closed doors. So folks, the other thing that you need to be aware of too, she's putting all these mailers out about all of these bills that she's voted for and supported, okay? Almost none of them have passed. Almost none of them. These are what they call election year dog and pony bills. For sitting members of the legislature that are in trouble, the leadership there in the Senate and the House are helping various candidates, including Lana Theis, to put forth a whole bunch of bills they know are not going to go anywhere. And if you notice some of the verbiage on these mailers that Lana's put out, it says, would have done this, would have done that. Whitmer's vetoed almost all of them, but they knew that going in. And most of this legislation that you're seeing, all these mailers about all these things that Lana's doing, she didn't do most of this stuff until after she had a primary challenger, after October of last year. Then it became a going concern. The question is, what did she do for the prior 3 years in the state Senate? What did she do for the 4 years in the state House? Lana did vote, what she's not talking about, a $74 billion budget in this state that we cannot afford. She's supposed to be a conservative, folks. She's voting with the Democrats and with Governor Whitmer to make the biggest, fattest budget that the state's ever seen. In the debate, the gubernatorial debate the other night, we heard Kevin Rinke say, and I totally agreed with him on this, and the same thing that was mirrored by Garrett Soldano and Ryan Kelly. We've got to have some major tax cuts. That doesn't mean replace it with another tax. That means cut the budget, do a forensic audit on our state budget, reduce the budget, and cut taxes. Cut the state income tax, especially the senior pension tax. Cut the property taxes. Lana hasn't done any of that, folks. She's voted for big spending. You know why? Because Lana, if you look at her financials, Lana is supported by all of the major special interests in the state. She's their favorite. She does their bidding. I don't have any problem with Lana personally. I think she has a problem with me personally, but I have no problem with her personally. What I have a problem with is selling out to the special interests. She's not listening to you. She's not returning your phone calls. She's not returning emails. People have told me this. She's not showing up in public. She refuses to have a debate with me. She refuses to have a candidate forum with me. She was asked by Stand Up Unlocked to come to a forum, which I'm doing on the 12th, along with other candidates. She refused to even appear there. So, folks, she's not interested in what you have to say or what you have to think. What she is doing, though, is like Representative Bob Azad. He's got a whole series of bills, and I've covered this over the last few weeks. They are dead on arrival. These are all bills that would be signed by wretched Gretchen, but these are bills that are going to help law enforcement, first responders, veterans, veterinarians, farmers. They've all been pigeonholed and killed in the state Senate because of Lana, because of a vendetta, because guess what? Representative Bob Azad endorsed my campaign for Senate. So it's childish, terrible tactics all the way around. And now they're just going to try to attack my character? That's fine. Folks, I'm walking through fire not because I have some deep-seated desire to go be a politician. I deplore politicians. That's not what I'm doing. I believe that Michigan can be a powerhouse. I believe we can turn this ship around. I'm tired of seeing Michigan circling the drain, and I'm not going to be a part of that effort to just manage its demise. I want Michigan to turn this around. That's what I'm after. That's why I'm doing this. I'm walking through hell and back for all of you, not for me. If it wasn't for you, I would not be doing this. I'm just telling you that straight. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be putting myself through it. I wouldn't be putting my family through it. You know, it's terrible. My wife's lost some business. She's a realtor because of all of this. So, folks, that's what they're doing. I'm going to stay strong. We've got less than 30 days to go to the primary. I've done pretty much all I can do. We're working hard. We're canvassing. We're trying to get signs. My signs are disappearing faster than we put them up. We put up a sign. All of our signs, by the way, are on private property with permission. I don't put them in easements or intersections. I think that's tacky and it's terrible. That's just my decision. My campaign has other ideas. My decision is not to do that. My signs are disappearing faster than we put them up. We're out canvassing. We're doing everything we possibly can, but it's up to you. If you want to, I want to restore your voice and your power in the 22nd State Senate District. I'm not going to sell it to special interest. I refuse to take special interest money. I won't do it. So the decision's yours. Do you want to have somebody who is in that Senate seat who is beholden to the special interest? And I guarantee you, folks, with the money they're spending just to attack me, who do you think she's going to be beholden to? You? No, she's going to be beholden to the DeVos crew and all of the special interests that are spending all this money on her behalf to do her dirty work. Folks, I'm not going to do that. I will not attack Lana personally. I go after her on her voting record, and that's it. And that's what the campaign should be. That's what you can expect from me. And if you hire me for the job in the state Senate, you're going to have a front row seat as to everything that's going on, my successes, my failures, somewhere in between. I'm going to stay accessible to you. We're going to have the coffee hours. We're going to have the town halls. If I screw up and you tell me I screwed up, I'm going to admit that I screwed up and I'm going to work to fix it. That's what you're going to get, true representation. Or you can decide to reelect Lana Theis, and you're going to get more of the same. And if you reelect Lana Theis, then for the next 4 years, you're going to get exactly the same thing. So, folks, that's all I have. I just wanted to make that. I wanted to clear the air and tell you all what the real story is behind all of this. That's all they have. Lana will not debate me, so they're going to try to smear me. That's okay. I'm doing it for you. I'm not doing it for me. Love all of you. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. And for all of you that are out there helping me canvass and putting out the word and donating to the campaign, I cannot tell you how much that means to me and my family. This has been a long road, and I really appreciate all of you. I love all of you. You guys are fantastic. So I got your back. I just need you to have mine. Love you. God bless.